Alright, so today I am going to do some oil lines on my 975 cubic inch radial engine. It's got a dry sump pump system on the bottom, and we got to redo all the lines because they are completely dried out and wrecked. So this is the first time I have done the AN fittings. And these things are about 60 years old. They were made right around the 50s, mid 60s. I'm guessing 50s. So all this hose is completely dried up. So let's see what we got going on here. Alright, so you can see we've got the hoses completely broken down. I took them all apart, which was a bitch. And I laid them all out in order so I can make each individual piece. I just finished this piece. This end was snapped off, so I had to put a new one on. And it was broke right here, so I had to TIG weld that together. It's all aluminum. So I just finished this piece. So on to the next piece. Here's the old hose. As you can see, it's completely dried out. Not bad for about 1955. So we're gonna do our next piece here. So next piece here. These things, these end fittings, they've got basically one turn of threads on the inside of them, and they're reverse hand threads, but because they're so old they pull right off. But when you go to put them on the new hose, it'll be a reverse turn onto it. So I've got fitting 1 that goes here, fitting 2 that goes onto this piece, and so on. Right here, this little T. Alright, so we got those fittings. So now I've got some brand new steel braided hose, compliments of eBay. So I'm going to do, mark it with the old thumb mark, come over here. I'm using a cutoff wheel for 2 reasons. It's stainless steel, it doesn't fray, and it won't melt the hose too well. So your hose will still be pretty much intact. So to remind you guys, make sure you have some safety glasses or glasses on, well ventilated area. This is rubber you're cutting through, so it is going to smoke. You know, for you smokers out there, it probably won't bug you, but I don't smoke, so it is what it is. And you can see the ends on this thing are flared out. This stuff right here, very sharp too. Already got a couple cuts on my thumb. So, what I use is the old trusty black tape right on the very end. Pull it tight. Try and pull those little pieces of steel down. If you can, just use one wrap to eliminate the diameter, because these fittings are all designed for this hose. So if you alter the diameter, it'll be a lot harder to get on. So I'm taping them right now. This one's going to probably be a little bit more because it's got some frays. So, just like that. Just right over the edge. Now here's the fun part. Trying to get this fitting. These older fittings have a longer taper. They actually are a cone. They're tapered inside. The newer fittings, a lot different. So we're going to see if we can press this into here, back and forth. If you've got thumbnails, yeah, it'll work out a lot better. So this is always the fun part, and the part that you most likely hurt yourself. I'm going to use a knife. I would always suggest you using a knife away from your body, for the simple fact if you slip, you'll just punch a hole in your finger, not your liver or your gut or any other little important organ in your body. So right now I'm just tucking it into the fitting, and I'm putting tension on it with my thumb. I'm going to kind of press it on. So I'm going to twist it on. Remember, a lot of them, I don't even know if this thing's got any threads on it. This is from the 50s. So I'm just going to twist it on till the inside of the hose gets right up to the threads. Right about there. Alright, now, next step. You want your threads. These threads are a little bit stripped out slightly at the tips from me pulling them off. So what I'm going to do is, because when you're twisting this on, you're twisting the fitting, you're creating friction against this flare and the hose. So what I typically do for these guys, I take some, literally it's about like 90 weight gear oil, and just put the gear oil on it. So you don't want to wear your best Sunday best white clothes when you do this on your wife's dining room table. Make sure that this flared end is seated all the way inside the hose. Then you press it all together and then thread the hose on. So this is a 5/8. Keep in mind, 60 plus years old. I'm trying to find my, oh, there it is, 3/4. So you're going to use all American made SAE tools. It's always a nice thing to have, unless you're in another country. But here in America, we still like to use American stuff, if we can find it. So, giving this nice little snug twist until it bottoms out. Right there, completely bottomed out. We'll do one more here. I'm gonna do the other side. Kind of pinch it, push it in there, get as much of that stainless in there so you don't have to punch a bunch of small little holes in your fingers. Maybe it will get me slipping and running this knife into my finger. That'll be a bonus. I'll have to charge everybody for that one. This one's being a little jerk. I'm going to try going from the back end. Alright, so this is a little too flared out. I don't know what's going on with the fitting or with the hose. Got my wife in the background yelling at the kids in the office. Normal day of our life. And I'm applying pressure with my fingers as well, keeping it from popping out. They didn't put this on the directions that these were a bitch to put on. Yep. Said the B word again, YouTube. So I'm going to hit this with a grinder a little bit and see if I can get some of that out. What a freaking mess. This time I'm going to over tape it, like so. Hopefully that'll help me out a little bit. This thing's becoming a monster. Alright, I think I've got it. Success. As I'm twisting, I'm pushing it on. Alright, now, got that in. Make sure the hose is below the threads, or you'll thread onto the steel braid and you'll possibly leak a little bit. So, put some of the grease on. It's always nice to have a shop attached directly to your office so you can hear the kids and everybody just yelling away. Is happening with this piece of shit. Part of the hose has collapsed slightly. Helps to have some dry hands, not covered in lube. Alright guys, I'm giving up on this one. I'm going to cut the end off and start over. Talk to you later. Alright, here's the finished product. The lines for the lower sump system for the radial engine. There you have it, brand new lines.